and welcome to Thrived Solution. So in today's session, we'll be seeing a small demonstration about the connectivity modes. So in this session, we'll be seeing how can you import and export the Excel sheet data in Power BI desktop, and we have how can we import data in Power BI using the SQL data sources, which can be through query mode, direct query mode, or import mode, and how the SQL servers data are imported. So we'll see a small demonstration regarding this topic. So let's see a small demonstration regarding the connectivity modes. So since we are very familiar how we can get the data from different data sources. For example, it can be through an Excel or a SQL servers, or it can be through a web or online platforms such as Salesforce or SharePoint or Facebook, etc. So let's see a demonstration of it. We are very much familiar from where we'll get the data. So as we know, from the home ribbon of the modeling table, where we click on the get data and you need to select the get data source. So for example, if I would like to go with the Excel, I will just click on the Excel workbook where it will route me to the desktop where I find the Excel data sheets. So once I select my sheet, it gets loaded. So it shows the loading of our data. Once the data is loaded, it gives an option for us with the sheet name and the tables we have. So we need to select the table and we can find the details of the table. And if you want the other table, we get both the tables to get where you can see. And if you want to make some any changes, we do an option as transfer data. Once you click on this transfer data, where you have an option where you can add a column or you can delete a column where all the data cleaning and data refreshment is done over here. So if you want to add a column or you want to split, so you can do here where you have an option as add column. And once you click on this add column, you want to duplicate the column or duplicate if you want to extract or extract, as we have seen many examples regarding this. So after doing some implementing and changes, you do an option at the home tab where you have an option as close and apply. Once you click on close and apply, where if you have made any changes, the changes will get reflected and you can see the data getting loaded. And at the field panel, you can see all the tables getting uploaded. So with the fields, you can see the table name reflecting and how many rows it contains in each table, and every data is been provided. So once that is done, you do an option where you need to select the visualization as you're keen about it. And in such cases, if you want in which mode you have been generated, just hover on the table name. You can see the table name and the type of mode, it's the import, and when was the data refreshed and at what time the data has been loaded. This is the one of the methods where you can get the data imported. And you do an option where you can export the data. So once you click on some visualization graph or the data which you have been done, for example, I will go with the product detail and product type and something else, store location. Okay, some rough this thing. So here you can see the 3 ellipse. So once I click on this 3 ellipse, you have an option as to export data. Once you click on this export data, where the data gets downloaded in the .csv file. This is where you have an option to import and export through Excel. And the other option is through SQL Server. So in the SQL Server, we do have different types. One is This is an option from where you can import the data, or through the get data, you can go through the SQL server, or when the blank report on the new page, you do an option where you can click on this. So since we know that SQL server, where they are of two types, the connectivity mode of import or direct query. So you need to give at which server we have been connecting, and the database, which type of the database, and the connectivity of the import or direct query. If you click on, and if you click on this advanced options, you do an option where you can give the query. And similarly, after giving all the details, you can just click on the okay. For example, if I'm going on some SQL server of this thing and some at my SQL, and I go with the import, and if I want to this is an option. No, if I go with the data connectivity as the direct query, so the same option applies. This is the other mode where from the server you can get the data and you can create. And the other, this thing is to the Dataverse. So once you click on the Dataverse, it's inbuilt by this. So where you need to connect with the common data source, and the data here is been selected through the SharePoint or any Excel sheet. So once you click on this connect option, where you need to provide with the data set, and you can collect that and you can import. So this, and the other option is through the web. For the web, for example, we need to go through some Google Sheets. Once you click on the go to the Google Sheet docs, and you give some random data and prepare a Excel format sheet and save it. At the time of saving the format of this, where you need to provide, and you need to give the link name and save it with the .csv file. And here, once you click on this web link, you have an option where you need to provide the URL which you have been saved from the web. So once you click on that web, you need to click on the open, and then you can see the data of that particular Excel sheet getting uploaded. So these are the different ways where you can get connected, and you can connect it for the different data sources. So thank you all.